Principals from schools in the country's poorest communities say education is facing an equity crisis because of new NCEA reading, writing and maths tests. They are urging the government to scrap them, but the Education Minister says not yet. Senior reporter Juliet Speedy has the story.
The principal of Papakura High School isn't mincing his words.
There is an equity crisis in education in that students from low socioeconomic backgrounds, in particular Māori and Pacifica students, are being disadvantaged.
Disadvantaged, he says, because of new online tests for NCEA maths, reading and writing. After 2 rounds of the test last year, the failure rate for teens from low-income schools was through the roof.
Now, the students that we put through last year had all demonstrated that they were at the required level, and yet 2/3 of them failed the test, the exam. And those were the ones that we thought were ready to sit it. So it's not an accurate measure of where the students are really at.
He says 50 principals are warning the online test will create a generation of school leavers with no qualifications, and most will be Māori or Pacific.
Well, if nothing changes, it's incredibly worrying, because we will see over the next few years an entire generation of young people coming through our schools who are unable to access the qualification due to this one narrow requirement.
The Education Minister says they won't be scrapping these tests now.
I will not let these kids fail. We are already investing a huge amount of money to make sure that they are getting the help that they need to get across the line. But we can't lower the standard, and we can't say, oh, it's all going to be okay, because once they leave school and they're not literate and numerate, then what?
I don't think anybody disputes there is a need for a higher standard for literacy and numeracy, but the assessments that the Ministry and NZQA have implemented follow poor assessment practice.
The previous Labour government implemented the testing, but now believes this government needs to listen to the educators.
I can just see from the educators' comments that they know their young people, they know this is not working, they also know that it's not going to work for them. So we need to find a better way for those young people.
Stanford says big changes are coming.
The future of the co-requisite and NCEA will look very different, and we'll have more to say on that in the coming months.
But some educators say for many kids, that will be too late.